Seeing as how I'm his lawyer, I kind of do have to be here with him.
Okay. My name is Metality. Other people call me Metal most of the time. I am related to Northern Alliance, specifically of the Masons Without Borders faction. My occupation within the Alliance is a variety of things. I cook, I clean, I do blacksmithing, I do numbers, all sorts of things, whatever is needed.
Of course, my name is Manoman McMantis Morez, but you can just call me Mano or Mano Man. My occupation here in Bastion, I am with the subgroup, the Scholars of the Rust. My role in that, I'm a high scholar. I kind of keep everything maintained. I smith here in Bastion Smithy, Allied Forge Works, and I suppose on this day I am Metality's lawyer.
Alright. From where I recall, I believe the suspected trouble began before that incursion with those two happened. I was smithing one night, and outside I saw a person on an elk ride by, and he was talking to his friend quite loudly and raucously, and that would be, of course, Rapid and Grommy, two members of Norfolk, which I learned quite later. We're talking about visiting and some other things. I had actually talked quite a bit with Rapid. I had been trading with him. I bought 3 wheels of cheese off that man, actually. And I spoke to Smithing for that night. They didn't come to talk to me or trade, so I assumed they were on some other form of business. From what I remember after Smithing, it seems that they were both yelling about something. I couldn't quite understand them because they were quite bewildered, in a word, and out of nowhere it felt like they seemed to start attacking me. I, in a flush, began to run away, and I hid into the smithy. I went down and found my set of armor that I'd manufactured, and I went out and proceeded to defend myself. That was the end of that night. I believe that both of them decided to flee after. Don't recall any. Well, I suppose a couple days later, almost a fortnight, they had come back with other members. One of the most prominent was, of course, Paxilla. He was a member of the Wanderers Guild at the time before he was excommunicated, and he came up to me and said that I was being sued and I was supposed to come in action as a law of court, as I apparently was accused for some reason of this act of hostility, which confused me. And very recently after, he blatantly came to my face and said that he was here to kill me, and if I stepped a foot outside of the Northern Alliance, he would, well, shank me. And I quite didn't take that kindly. That was very rude of him, and I honestly wanted to protect my rights at that point. But nothing happened of note. They laid down the court accusation, and they left. They weren't specific about it, but what was definite was they were accusing me of some kind of hostile action, violence of sorts. I'm not sure. I wasn't given an actual mandate or record, at least to say. And I agreed with my faction leader of Northern Alliance, which was Bo, and I agreed to show up in court whenever the time was necessary. And he said he would get the details prepared and would be alerted of it soon. But instead what happened, I'd say a couple days later, is the raid of Norfolk coming into Bastion Steel hit. I had been overnight sleeping in the attic of the kitchen. I was in a bit of a food coma. I can't remember quite why, though. But I could hear outside very loudly people that I did not recognize. Over through the windows, I could see they were raiding our town. They were taking lanterns off the lampposts. They seemed to be in combat with some other people. I very, very much confused and fearful of my life, decided to leave and seek refuge within the forge. There I waited until I heard the large church bell ring out. Well, not church bell, just the bell in the guild. And it seems that the coast was clear. I could hear our town cook, Ali, speak out and say that we were safe now. And once we were all collected, I had realized that they had brutally injured one of our patriots in the town, Skaya, who was our farmer and also the guildmaster. I can't seem to think of any other incidents after that, though. I've been told by Bo that my second trial, or the first one, but the second appointment, is to be tomorrow. I don't believe so. I've been sent a lack of paperwork, actually. Yes. I haven't been sent anything. Just told.
Man, this place's documentation sucks.
Yeah, this place kind of sucks.
They should really work on that. Anyways,
We can hear you from up here if you're attempting to be quiet.
I don't care.
But oh, by all means, I do agree with you.
It sucks so bad.
Unsure of the motive, but I believe Bo spoke to us about it after he had negotiations with King Bran. Something to do with their previous accusations towards me, and also the Norfolk's anger that Bo hadn't done anything about the trial, even though he did tell us afterwards that he was getting the proceedings done with. It was just taking time because he was organizing with other people across the lands, especially the judge, if I'm to be certain. Additionally, I think they were also angered with Bo because he had himself not taken into account an aggressive manner towards the Rot cult. Well...
Metality, I'm required to let you know that this is a bit of a loaded question. You don't have to respond to this if you don't feel like it.
I'll tell you this much. I do not deny it. I do worship the Rot. Specifically, I was a member of the Rot Church in Northern Alliance. We had that church over yonder, and I do recall many of folk referring to us not as a church, but as a cult. At some point, I just gave up. Well, before the church grounds were blown up, we at the Rot Church worship the Rot as a natural process. We watched as animal carcasses and organic wastes began to corrode and blacken. It's instead of a sinister aspect to it, we saw something different. We watched as the Rot took it, melted it down, and instead of eating it to completion, feasting upon it, instead changed it. It altered it, made it something else, and spread to the ground. The earth absorbed into it. We're quite fascinated with such a thing, so we decided to bring it to the farms. Experimented with the men of the land, and after some research we realized that this rot was helping the farmlands. It was cultivating it at an increased rate, called it a fertilizer. And we took it upon ourselves to study it in other aspects of life. That's when we learned the cycles of rot. Things live, things die, all things die. Life means death, death means life. And as things die, they rot, fall to the ground, taken by it. And then from that rot comes new life. The land is nurtured births more through the rot. At that point, we had been quite hypnotized by it, and had a different aspect to the rot. Something to worship. I'd say that's how the Rot Church was established. We didn't have much, to be honest. We didn't have funding. We weren't very large on members, in honesty. We just set up in an area that was where the Rot Church was, and we used what we had, which was the tools that we were given, and just came together time to time. And worship the rot, thanking it.
Once again, Metality. You are not required to answer this.
It's not much of an issue, it's fine. Didn't have much of a hierarchy. We just came together as, first as researchers, and then eventually as brothers. I can't be certain. After the raid of Norfolk, many of our brothers seem to have run off in fear and hide away. I've heard some gone down south to a warmer climate. The winter was quite rough. Some might have gone east. I haven't heard of any people west.
Getting your private detective agency. We will be setting up a post box soon.
Once again, I must thank you for taking the time and answering our questions.
Yes.
No worries. Take care.
Take it.
Take care.
Farewell, gentlemen. Safe travels.